day one, he mixes on Nuendo in the box with headphones on, like so it's all in the computer and in headphones. I thought that was crazy. Noah uses the Pro Tools. But he's like that Nuendo's so like powerful that he mixes all in that. I thought that was pretty funny because I've been using it
Huh.
for so long. I know Timberland uses it too, but all right, guys. So we're live. Today the podcast is about the path and paying attention to what's coming at you and being ready for that when it happens. Funny enough, I was watching a podcast today with Mike Tyson and Bill Burr, and they were talking about like Bill Burr was talking about how he's so lucky. It's like he goes, lucky thing after lucky thing keeps happening. And Mike Tyson goes, it's funny how the harder you work, the luckier you get. Like because he keeps like Bill Burr wants to say it's all luck coming his way, when Tyson's like, no, bro, like you're working so hard. It's funny that the harder you work, the more ready you are for that luck that comes your way. Take advantage of it at least. But at the same time, it's the same thing taking the path. Will's talking about some stuff he won't divulge, but he's working hard lately. So that's making him able to actually take advantage of any of these new things coming his way. Same thing with me and some of the stuff I got going on. So let's get into it.
Yeah, so like uh it's this information, it's really exciting, man. And I'll tell you what, um finally making the decision on what I wanted um has just completely opened up the floodgates of opportunities for me lately, to where like it's almost like which one feels good. Which one is lining up. You know what I mean? I had something with a friend start coming. First it started with a homie that I started this recording studio with, man, and he shows up with the exact same material that and the exact same program and everything that Robert's on and we've been talking about. I've been creating material to do my own to create my own kind of funnel thing, and then he comes speaking the right language with the perfect option, same just craziness. However, I wasn't able to line up my feelings to go forward in that direction um, with 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 him at this particular time. I couldn't line it up. So and I was kind of almost a little nervous because uh, we also, when opportunities come, you don't want to just say no. However, they do have to line up with how you feel. You do have to feel like it's something you want to do, and it just feels good, and that didn't. And then all of a sudden, other stuff just I wanted to I am raising my spiritual connection, and then people showed up in my jobs with Bibles for me, Bibles for my daughter. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna drop her presents off here. We do Christmas on New Year's, but it didn't happen this year because of COVID, so I'm a little bit behind on getting her stuff. But just people coming in and things, with that, and then just recently, I finally was approached by a friend, and successful, always been successful since I known her, and I've been kind of now plugged into um, being around other successful people and learning from successful people that are already being successful in what they're talking about, and can help me be successful. And and once it came in, I'm going to tell you too, it doesn't matter how long you've been studying this information, but it came in, And I'm already like, well, do I really want to do that? I've already got goals. I'm already on something. Why would I try and start something new? You know what I mean? Is it really, I'm coming up with all these things, and then forgetting none of that really matters. Is it leading you towards what you want? This is the thing. Is it a gift? Because I'm concentrating now that I know what I want. I'm getting obsessed with it by thinking about it all the time. I'm taking actions that I feel like what I could see could possibly get me there. I have no idea how fast, and then pay attention to other things that start coming. And now, I'm involved with successful people that are doing successful things that lines up with exactly what I'm trying to do, and 100% quicker to get there. And that's what feels good to me, and so I'm looking at it different. But at first I wasn't. I was like, well, now I got other people curious about what I'm doing, other people up in my business, other people wanting me to do things, having some sort of structure, which I personally think would be good for me right now. Being held accountable, I also think it'd be good for me right now. But it's really deep on how much it lines up once I block out everything that's telling me why I can't do it. And I just stay open. Well, what is it do you want? Which I've already defined, but don't forget, well, what do I want? And does this line up with what I want? And it's just completely obvious how good just everything that's lining up. It's just really exciting. So I can't explain enough how important it is to get to the point to where you can define what you want and pay attention to the path, because you will be surprised what gifts are being dropped on your path to just literally get you to where I want. Like I was fighting the whole time. I can't even tell my homie about it because I just need to this is just something I need to just soak in. This is something personal that I need to do. And I've always been in the habit of talking about it, and this particular time, I'm going to do it and then talk about it. And that's just kind of where I'm on with this. But I can't I can't say it enough. There will always be another opportunity. Even if you don't feel one, you don't have to force yourself to take an opportunity that just doesn't line up. Because I just a couple times I got an opportunity to do a Christian documentary too. And that would be super cool because that type of stuff interests me. Little movies. I mean, win, right? But at the same time, I'm dealing with other people and I'm not sure kind of what's going on with them and everything, and it's just not 100% lining up. But man, it's so exciting to be at a point where I am creating opportunities that is ultimately leading down me what I want. And I am finally around successful people, which is something that I have been lacking. Lacking in my life, other than Robert and things like that. But there's like just other successful people that maybe I don't know, that I'm learning from and can grow from, and it lines up with what I want. It's just, I'm just kind of blown away, man. And I've been thinking about it. I've been talking about it, man. I need to be around successful people. Where am I going to go to be around successful people? because I don't particularly love to go outside and be around people I don't know, and I'm not always the person that just wants to talk to strangers. Well, are you successful? Right? I mean, it's not how you do it, but and then to just have and then just to be able to draw in the successful people. I didn't go search them. I created the opportunity to work. I created the opportunity to be around them and be involved with them by just concentrating on what I want. And then what I want, the path to what I want, just keeps showing up on my path randomly. It's really mind-blowing. It's happening so often, it's almost to the point to where it's not a shocker anymore. It's like, yeah, I created that. It's a no-brainer. It lines up. I'm feeling it. You cannot be the better opportunity. It's the opportunity I've kind of been waiting for all the way around, not just financially, but helping people and helping myself, helping other people succeed and reach their goals. It's just, it's not just about where I want to be financially, but how I want to feel as well while I get there. Feeling good, helping people, touching other people's lives. I'm so grateful that I've received this material, that I am, instead of just letting all the why I can't do it, being able to realize that all I'm doing is pacing at my home and thinking about all the ways I can't do it, and it's not something I want to do because I'm already doing all these other things. And then be able to stop myself and be like, well, wait a second. None of that really matters, what do you want, and does it line up with that? And that's when I started thinking about all the ways it connects with my path, all the way it connects with what I want, all the way it connects with how I want to feel, all the way it connects with where I'm trying to go with my life. The way it connects examples with my daughter and being able to expand with my daughter with it, be able to have her get into it, take it over, and be able to be a successful business owner before she graduates high school and be helping people. Just really, really exciting once you're able to clarify what you want, get obsessed with it, because you can get excited about it because it's finally what you want. You think about it all the time and it makes you feel good every time you think about it. You know you can achieve it. And now my path is just getting flooded with opportunities to get me there quicker, by the way. Quicker. Even at my job, and I know it because I'm at my job going through these experiences every day, and I'm like, I don't belong there. And not because it's just working for someone else, not because someone else is telling me it is. It's a big part of it. Someone else telling me when to go to work, when to take a lunch, when to go home, and when to come back the next day. I'm not even in control of my own life. I'm not even in control of my own life and my own way to get it. Someone else is telling me. But that's not even the key. That's not even the keyest things. It's surrounding myself with low vibrating people who can only see 2 weeks at a time And I'm trying to see 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road. What am I doing in a year? What am I making in a year? What does my life look like in a year? Where am I trying to go? I'm trying to get out of here and go home where there's not a stoplight in my town and it's chill and peace and quiet. No apartments, no freeways, less people, safer. More of my friends are there. You know, and what I want will get, what I want will totally be able to I can go anywhere and do what I want. I didn't even know I was going to talk about all this. I'm just really feeling how easy opportunities to achieve what you want will are just being dropped on the path. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. But it's there's a lot to pay attention to, especially on the path, and not to add a negative angle of it, but more of a be mindful and aware that plenty of magical things come your way to distract you from the path. Whereas me on my path, I've had a little different situation. I've had a lot of things come at me that seem like that magic morsel, and I've watched it happen in the past. So I've been fortunate enough to be the guy who's had um, Snoop Dogg come in my path and things of that nature and take me off the path I was at to where I just jumped to the new path going, this is the better path. And I immediately go, magic shit has come in front of me and stopped that path. And that path ended up, I feel personally, and other people argue this differently, and I get their argument too, but I feel that I jumped on the Snoop Dogg thing and that put me back 20 years because I chose to jump on the magical. I'm thinking it's the fast fucking track to where I'm trying to be. I'm like, it's Snoop Dogg. Had I just stuck with my album, put my album out, hammered it, grassroots, did whatever I had to do it with it, and hammered back in the days, might I have been further ahead than I am now? Mind you, nowhere technically in the music industry. I'm not making a killing right now. um, more than I am with Snoop Dogg because Snoop Dogg made me $0. It was a lot of credibility and could lead to more dollars some other time. But had I not made my own name for myself, so where I wasn't leaning on a Snoop Dogg placement to get me somewhere, would I have been further grinding that way through as opposed to waiting for hopefully Snoop Dogg's blessing to anoint me worthy of some success. And so for me, be very careful. You'll see these things come in your path because they'll look prettier and cooler and more exotic and way faster to get to where you're trying to go. I'm like, what's faster than getting to the top than fucking with Snoop Dogg? Nothing. Mind you, it got me nowhere. Nowhere. And I could say that simply in 15 years. Nowhere. Nowhere further. Yes, is it working its way for me right now? Is it helping me right now with what I'm doing right this particular second? Sure. Yeah, 15 years later, it's now doing something for me. Maybe. We don't even know yet. Hasn't physically done anything for me, but and maybe the way is the way, like what it's supposed to be. But we're all just, pretending we know what the hell we're talking about. Uh, but at the end of the day, be very careful of the grass is greener opportunity coming to you. It's just like you're with a good woman and you see another girl you feel looks a little bit what you imagined yourself as a young boy being with, better, and then you hop the fence, and then it turns out she's a different type and likes to, get around or do whatever she wants, and you hop the fence and you lost something good. You got to recognize what you're working with now might be the best thing you have going on. So what happens is a lot of times, from my experiences, these greater opportunities come there, and then you jump around and you never really commit to anything because now you're over here going, well, I'm gonna try this. Oh, look, there's a hotter chick. I'm gonna try that. Oh, there's a hotter one. Oh, I'm gonna try that. And then you never commit to anything and wonder why you don't have family and kids, and that's what you want. If that's what you want as a family and kids, you need to commit to one thing and try to see that through instead of going, no, I think this other one, I think we have a better chemistry. And it's like, next thing you know, you could be hopping around just like me with the Snoop Dogg thing. I had something going on. I'm creating lots of songs, and the Snoop Dogg thing came my way, and I dropped everything I was doing, any ambition I had, re-geared, put a different hat than I ever wanted to wear in my life on, and started playing that role of something different than I ever wanted to do, because that seemed to be the best way to where I'm trying to get the faster track to where I'm trying to get. What's funny is that track's taken 20 fucking years. So be very wary of things as you see them coming on your path that they might stop you from what you're doing. So in my recent 7 months, I have, or 8.5 months now, I have made it a point to say no to everybody. Best friends, it doesn't matter who you are. Snoop Dogg's uncles, I don't give a shit. Whoever you are. No is the answer for me. No, you will not distract me from my goal. It might be faster your way. Your opportunity might be your way. But I find the more I look for more opportunities that seem to land magically in my lap, the more distracted I get and the more I never commit to anything. So I just say, no, I'll get to you when I get to you. And if this opportunity was meant to be, it'll be meant to be. But right now, I need to see some stuff through to the end. And that's my thing. 7 months of seeing things from start to finish through to the end. I had a weird experience today making beats. It was very structured and it was almost not enjoyable to get it done. And I was like, man, where's the magic to like create this hyped ass beat and but I'm finishing these beats, man, and they're going into the ether and they're creating opportunities and it was definitely a weird experience and it's definitely changed me. But my thing has been very set on, nope, you're coming my way with these great opportunities and these new magic pills to get to the top. I'm gonna stick with what I know and I'm gonna finish them. And then if I have time, I will now address those things. There's just so much shit coming at you, especially when you're grinding, you're doing something, and you have a lot of value to offer. You're going to get tons of people coming to leech that value off you, but never really want to help you. So it's a very it's a very slippery slope, to go, oh, all these opportunities, but if you got something going on and you see a new opportunity, you ditch that opportunity, try this new one, and then what happens when the next great opportunity comes? You ditch that one too. You got to stick with something till it's through, and that's what I have experienced in my life. And my what I've experienced is not what anybody else experienced, or the law by any means, but speaking on what comes to you in your path, just be wary of that. You might have the better opportunity. It's a no-brainer. Go for it. Do it. Make it happen. Right on. Like now I have the Snoop Dogg thing coming back at me again. But now I'm in a position to take that on and not drop everything I'm doing to take that on. I'm not saying clear my calendar. This is what I'm doing. It's like I'm doing this and then I will navigate and figure out how to facilitate that on top of that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, pay attention to what you have coming in your path. The same thing with me. I have a lot of stuff coming my way. It's like Snoop Dogg. I'm like, what the? I didn't even plan that. Like, how is that happening? Newer things happening with music and everything else. But be very, be very wary and stay on the path because you're going to get a lot of things that will distract you and pull you from what you're doing. Oh my God, in this path, I met the best woman of my life. Now you're on this marriage path, and then you go there for fucking 7 years of marriage, and then she dumps you. Next thing you're single again, and that's 7 years detoured off of your goals and your dreams and aspirations. But you thought you found the love of your life. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to be mindful of, and what's in your path. You know, greatness will be your path, as well as obstacles and sidetrackers. There's a lot to think about with that. You know, if we're talking about being in the path, for me, like I said, my goal is to I have opportunities. I'm sticking to those. I'm seeing them through, and then after I'm done with that, any new opportunity I'll choose to or not to take on.
Yeah, I went down. It's a it's a double-edged sword, kind of. That's why I had to really do some material work, um, because that's all I was thinking was, oh, this is the last thing I need. This is the last thing I need is something new. Um, I don't have time to do. I don't. All the I don'ts I can think of, just so I can pass on it. And luckily for this material, I know better, and I know that you know I don't know the how. I don't know how I'm going to achieve what I want. I just know what I want. And I also know that I don't have to get caught up in the vehicle on how to get there either, because I don't know the ultimate best way to get there. So I'm so, getting so caught up with the vehicle and less caught up in what I want, and paying attention to things that are coming in that are leading me to what I want, and which is multiple things, not just the goal itself, but wanting to be around successful people, wanting to help people. The things I'm already doing will enhance this opportunity, and again, not getting caught up in how I'm going to get there, because I don't know how. 99.9% of achieving it is concentrating on what I want. The action, the actions I take aren't as important as knowing what I want, and and not getting caught up in the vehicle on how to get there, because I ultimately don't know the best way there. Therefore, I need to be more open, and not, I don't know what I don't know. So instead of just automatically dismissing it, because of this information, I was able to realize what I was doing and then take a different look at it. And everything, everything has lined up with exactly what I want. Um, more than just what I want, because there's multiple. There's that. That's why it's like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and spend my time doing it, because it's really the only thing I have in front of me, with so many multiples of what I want, and the way a way to get me there.
I would say I would remember, like, say this. I agree with what you're saying. Like, you don't know the vehicle, you don't know how it's going to happen. And that's one thing that's crazily happening to me right now, is now these placement things I stopped focusing on are happening with the Snoop Dogg thing. But at the same time, if you don't ever commit to a vehicle because you're not sure what the vehicle is going to be, then you're never getting in a vehicle at all. So you got to at least find a vehicle as opposed to going, oh, I don't know what the vehicle. Well, find one and start driving it at least. You know what I mean? You have to start down some path, get in the car and start driving. If you don't
which I
have
have.
that vehicle,
Here's the thing though too, and this is now, this does not mean, I don't know what this is gonna supplement at this time. I'm not sure what it's gonna supplement. I'm not gonna stop doing the things that I enjoy doing, that I can see on my radar screen, will get me to achieve what I want. But I'm also open to things, to the mountains that are being moved outside of my radar, all the mountains being moved outside of my radar screen, that are opportunities to get me there. I'm going to stay open to those opportunities and not just automatically dismiss them because I automatically think it's a distraction. The biggest thing is, how does it feel? How does it make me feel? And I've been down this feeling road before, with this music studio, because all my feelings told me that I should not do it, and I didn't listen to my feelings. And then I was sent down a whirlwind of hell for a while. And sometimes I think I wouldn't have made that same decision, but most of the time, I will, because of where I'm at now, what I'm able to achieve now, what I'm able to create coming along my path. It's too there's no such thing as coincidences, right? We create our realities. We create our realities. It's an amazing. I'm in a very amazing place to be. And without this material, I would have automatically dismissed it if it wasn't for this material. But because of this material, I was able to realize I'm getting caught up in the vehicle. How am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? I'm taking enough action to start the momentum of bringing stuff into what I want, because I'm thinking about it all the time. So I'm taking enough action so my frequencies and my energies are stronger. I feel good when I think about it. So tying that emotion to my thoughts throws out a stronger frequency, stronger energy, a stronger signal. And once it goes out, by law, it has to come back to me. Hence, opportunities start coming in the path that leads me down to what I want. And it's just really, oh man, I can't even explain how exciting it is.
there's a lot of unknowns in the path. Um, so
Well, I was just telling you, I take enough action. I take enough action because of what I can see happening, right? And I know, and I feel good when I think about it. So I know I'm throwing out a stronger frequency. I'm throwing out a stronger energy of my thoughts every time I think about it, tying emotion to it, like, oh yeah, this is what I want, tying that emotion to it and making it a stronger signal every time I think about it, because I'm feeling good about it. I go to work and I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm throwing out a stronger signal. Oh, I am so out of here. I'm throwing a stronger signal because I'm happy to be like, today, I am out of here soon. Before all, period, right? And then by law, my stronger signal, things are coming back at me on my path of the signals I'm throwing out that are leading me to what I want. But I can only see this much to take my action. This is my how. I can see this much. But mountains are being moved that I cannot see and coming along my path to lead me towards what I want. I've been open. Man, I'm completely grateful I have this material to be able to be 100% in these moments when these things happen and come in, because I'm able to line it up or I'm not. And two of the three things that have come along my path lately, I have not been able to line up. And I've been in this. I told him also, Robert, I've been in this experience before with the music studio. I didn't follow my feelings, and my life went to hell. And I would do it again. But the point is, I didn't follow my feelings when I should have. And that's my intuition, so to be at this point and know, okay, well, how do I feel? How does it make me feel? Because like I said, 2 out of the 3 things that showed up on my path, I'm not feeling. The documentary would be cool, but I'm not feeling it because it's not really on the path to what, it's not really directly what I want. Yes, I would love to do a Christian documentary, but I cannot line it up to all the time in it right this second to be able to achieve what I want. That I've clearly defined. There's many things I want, but I've clearly defined what the next thing I want is. And 2 of the things haven't lined up. So you people watching, man, I just you got to ask us about this stuff. You got to dive deeper with us about this stuff. I'm creating deeper material about this stuff. Even better material now, documentation material, and just more stuff to add. That's what I'm saying. It lines up with what I'm doing to helping people with their. It lines up with the podcast. It lines up to feeding your body with Be a Better You. It just lines up helping people. It frees up my time more. Ask us about this stuff. How can we help you define what you want so you could be in a place to where you're sitting back watching stuff coming in? Wow, I feel good about that. Let's take a look at that. That looks real good, but I don't really feel like that serves the purpose of what I'm trying to accomplish right now, today. Does it serve my purpose, what I'm trying to accomplish today? Because down the road is down the road, but you can only go as far as you can see, and you got to create some wins to create more wins. Success, success creates confidence. Confidence creates activity. Activity creates habits, success habits. Success habits creates more success, which leads to more confidence, which leads to more action. Your momentum cycle. I'll tell you what, it's just less eating, feeding. I've been Vitamixing and really battling my body, not eating, and just feeling so much better, feeling more powerful, feeling more like I could draw more stuff in, and things are coming. It's just It's exciting, man. And it doesn't matter what's going on outside. It doesn't matter who's president of the United States. It doesn't matter who my governor is. It doesn't matter where I grew up. It doesn't matter what my what I've learned from my friends or my neighbors. The fact I have a job, none of that matters. It does. I'm just saying, like, what matters is what I want. And does it line up with what I want? And not to get caught up in the vehicle and how I'm going to get there, because I don't ultimately know how or how long. But if it feels good and it lines up, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna follow that. And it's not like a too good to be true, because it's easy to be like that too, because it's still surprising. It's still a shocker. This is still new. We're still always learning. It's just, please ask us about this material. I'm coming out with some tools to help people start them down their own momentum cycle, and I'm happy to do it. And these opportunities are lining up with where I'm already going. I'm not reinventing in something new. I'm not reinventing anything new. It lines up with where I'm going and what I'm currently doing already. Yeah. I don't know. This has been pretty good. I didn't even know we were going to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot of this going on. It's hard not to talk about this like every podcast
It
because
is. Well, it's what we're living too, right? So we're just having conversations like we went on the phone. Hey, what happened this week?
what we have to understand is this is the point of the whole information is this type of thinking to help you on your path. So the fact that we're talking about the path is like, duh, we're talking about the path, and anything else that has to do with any aspect, a dream board, a next logical step, all that is based on your next logical step to your path. A dream board to help you figure out what your path looks like. Everything leads into your path. You're in a path through life. So it all correlates to this, and that. So we're going to be talking like about the path all the time and how that applies. Again, you don't know what's going to come your way, and you don't know the vehicle. And my thing is, I just keep building vehicles, and whatever one drives to where I'm trying to go, that's the one I'm in. And so I build them all. That's where I'm at. I built 10 vehicles now. I just marked them out today, and whatever one takes me there. And I found like just in a financial thing, like I built a few vehicles of this instant, like right now money, as opposed to looking at long game. And for 4 months, it wasn't working, and now it is. And now I'm like, holy crap! Okay, it's finally working, and just sticking with that vehicle and driving it long enough to see some sort of benefits to what you're doing. To finally seeing what it is you're trying to do actually happen. I stuck with it long enough where at first I almost wanted to abandon ship and just this is immediate money and just go get another job and just go. I'm gonna go work at this other place because this shit ain't working. But sticking with it long enough, 4 months. In fact, I was just throwing away papers. I was finishing out some beats today, so where I could have consistent beats every week. And I was going through and I had my studio is just a fucking looks like a bomb hit it, right? So it's just got papers all over. They're all lists of shit I need to do that are past lists. And I'm going through them and I like to find stuff that I didn't do and go, oh yeah, I spaced that. I need to do that shit. And I'm throwing them away. And one is a whole thing of like how I'm gonna have a house by another house by Christmas, right? And I'm like, and this would have happened here, and this would have happened by this date, and this would have happened by this date. I'll have all this. And all this shit that's happening right now, today, as we speak, I had slated for last November, December, January, like, and it's just now happening. And at some point in November, you trust me, there were feelings of fuck this, jump ship, figure something else out. But I stayed in this vehicle long enough to see it through. Course correct, right the ship, and do what I needed to do to figure that piece out.
Yeah, that's a cool. What's cool about this too is, you know, it's not like it's taking up so much of my time that I can't finish this audio book and I can't continue to get this music for sync licensing and all this other stuff. But being able to dial down what's going on, um, and know that this is benefiting everything I'm doing, especially with this Mind Tools and being around successful people is extremely exciting. Is just really blown. It's mind blowing, man. I cannot stress enough again. Clearly define what you want. Your next main game. Life is a game, right? Life is a game. We make up the rules, so why not make up the rules so you win, right? So what is your main game you're trying to achieve now? And then your next logical hustles, your action steps to get you there that you can see, because you have to do something. You can't just sit there. Well, you could if you want to. Probably not going to work best out for you that way. You can't just sit there, it's going to come. You have to take some sort of action that you can see, and hopefully something you enjoy doing, which these things are I enjoy doing. And when you really get it down, because once you clearly define what you want, now you can tie all the emotions to it because it's that much more exciting. It's different when I'm thinking of things I want down the road, but I've dialed it into what I want today, what I want right now, compared to I'm actually have a main game of what I want after what I want right now. Like I had to backtrack a little bit, you know what I mean? And really clearly define what I want in the very next thing in my life. Not necessarily, I want a house with this and the rock climbing tree and you know what I mean? But that's not, I do want that tomorrow too, but there's steps to that. And I really, I need to start here because this is what I want tomorrow that'll help me get there. The next, man, and just being free. So it's absolutely, so define what you want. Because when you do, you'll feel better when you think about it and throw out a stronger signal to create more opportunities to lead you down to get what you want.
I think there's a shitload to be said about what you just said. Is like in my mind is like, by identifying what you want in a shorter period of time,
Yes.
it helps you be more specific. It helps you be more actionable. Whereas thinking of something from like right now, I want to be a record label mogul, right?
Yes.
And if I think only that, I have a hard time thinking. Sorry guys, I'm still trying to figure out where the fuck my my shit goes. So by being by thinking that far down the road, like say I want to be the next president of the United States. Thinking like that makes it to where I'm I'm focused so far down the road I can't be specific. I can't and if you can't be specific, what are your next steps you need to take? it's harder to figure out the next logical step if you're thinking so broadly instead of pinpointing it down to what's something closer you're trying to do. You want to be a mogul, but first, let's make your first $10. I want to be a millionaire. Well, make your first $10. You know what I mean? Make your first $10. That's a big deal. You know, like start there. Start with your first $10, and that's where you think. You know, I wanna have a Lamborghini. Well, start out with a car because right now you're riding a bicycle. So let's start out by thinking about the car you're gonna get, and then eventually you can start working on how you trade up and build into that, or however it works for you. But the big thing is, I think there's something to be said about literally thinking smaller and what you need to do and that you want to have as a goal next. That'll help you think of the actions because the actions will become because you can be more specific about what you're trying to get done. As opposed to thinking so far down the road, you're like, well, I don't know what the next step is because that's the fucking, how do I go from zero to a million? You know, like, and I don't even know how to make a dollar right now. How can I even sit there and talk millions when I don't even know how to get my first buck? So I think breaking it off in like stair steps is madly huge. Helps you figure out the action you need to do next. It'll help you think of goals that are closer to now, are attainable. You believe you can achieve them, and you'll get them done now. They're believable, and you're gonna start chipping away at it, and to where you're gonna start getting your belief system will start rising because you start accomplishing and completing these goals to where now you can actually create further distances to leap as opposed to first you're taking baby steps and then eventually you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take 20-foot jumps now because I get this. And now you get bigger jump, bigger jump. Next you're going from it took me fucking forever to get 100,000, but now I went from 2 million to 10 million to 40 million. Like, you know, you start making bigger leaps and bounds. And what the biggest thing is, think of what you want in the closer window of time to achieve, and then your mind will automatically figure out how to do that. It'll figure out what's, you know, the action's not going to be such a big hard action because it's just not that far away. It's not that hard to believe. It's it's closer. It's how you need to break down your big dream in baby steps, you know, and figure out how to get there in sequence. And it starts out somewhere, right? You know, Apple didn't start out with the iPod. You know, Apple started out with some fucking computer that could type. It basically replaced a typewriter. It started there. It didn't go one day we'll be the operating system in the space shuttle. No, it started out with a typewriter. You know, Elon Musk didn't start with the Tesla and Rocket X or SpaceX. He started out just replacing the freaking yellow pages. You know what I mean? So everybody starts out with this one small thing, but look at
You
something.
sure you're good?
What's that?
You sure your sound is good?
I checked it on the phone. Why? Can you hear me?
Yeah, but the active green isn't going over to your page.
I get it. I checked on my phone to make sure it was doing good call though because we've had a lot of audio issues, so we're hypersensitive about this shit. So-
Well, this is a really good one too,
right,
and
right,
I,
yeah,
I don't want you to lead it because the audio mistakes. This is really good. We're dropping some really good gems to people, and they're getting two different angles too. They're getting your angle and our angle, and it's okay. It's okay to have. It's not even really differences because I agree with everything you're saying too, because you have to do things consistently and long enough. So stuff coming on your path and switching, you know what I mean? You got to be careful with that, especially things. But what's cool about this is I'm not stopping everything else, right? It helps. It's benefiting everything else. So, but I agree with everything you're saying. This is just really good to get all of these angles on this. Is really actually outstanding. And I got to back up that belief part, man. You know, once I dialed it a little bit closer, my belief went 100% because it's closer. It's a closer to something tomorrow instead of something that obviously, but again, it's all how you think. Because if I think it's going to take me a few years to get the house with the revolving walls and the rock tree, then I'm correct. So why not think that could happen tomorrow? But you got to think about your beliefs and my belief is a little bit higher that I can achieve, but my new clear, I want to keep it between me and you, you got to be careful, but dialing into what I want tomorrow, even though I do want the bigger things tomorrow too, but not going that way actually has raised my belief more and makes me more excited, and even more excited that, whoa, this will even help me get to that bigger thing quicker, instead of feeling like I'm selling myself too short because I'm trying to check my mentality, because I don't necessarily agree with why can't I achieve that big thing tomorrow, because I don't know, right? So, and I'm probably the most unrealistic person there is, so I have to be even more extremely careful, man, because I'll be like, shoot, why can't I find my own briefcase along the tree with $1 million? Shoot. Not necessarily that one, but just other things, flying to space or whatever, tomorrow though. But it's almost like you got to be kind of humble and be like, okay, and then again, what do I really want? What do I really want? Because all that big house and everything, I don't even, I would be cool just having a yacht and no house. I would be totally cool with a smaller house and still being able to wake up every day, do whatever the fuck I want, because it's not even that big house I really want. I want this feeling of, what I want this feeling of. So it's a cat and mouse. It can become a cat and mouse game with yourself and never really define anything. So making it smaller on purpose and sucking it up has been amazing and just has raised my belief. Everything in my life just triggers more. Yep. Oh, I got to go here today. I got to spend my next 8 hours doing what? How may I help you? It's even this is going to happen tomorrow. And the excitement, having your believing it more will get you more excited about it. Now you can tie a stronger emotion to it. And when you tie those stronger emotions to it, your signal is stronger. So it's going to come back to you quicker. Bigger things things are going to come on your path to get you there even faster that you could not have seen because you don't know how, you don't know the correct vehicle. You know enough of a vehicle to take some sort of action just to keep the energy out there long enough to start bringing other things in and just pay attention, and it has to make you feel when they come in. If they make you feel great, maybe you need to take a look at it. If it doesn't quite line up, there's going to be another opportunity.
Yeah, what's funny is you're right in the sense that it's like in fact, I don't know what's right. Let's get that correct first. But in my opinion,
I know it feels right.
My opinion is if you can believe strongly enough that you'll make $1 billion tomorrow, and you truly know you're telling yourself the truth in your heart of hearts, you're saying, I'm going to be a billionaire tomorrow. And you can believe that, and there's not this disconnect where, like, I know I'm just bullshitting. Like, that, like, if you can believe that strong, then fucking by all means do it. But I feel by breaking down stuff in a little bit more believable steps, you can inch your way towards that billion, as opposed to being so far stretched that you're just sitting on your couch wishing all day and never doing some sort of action that gets you there. you know, you got to have enough belief to pull you towards the efforts that get you to doing that. Because anybody who's ever done anything in life, ever, anybody you're looking up to and talking about, didn't just sit there and him and haw and believe. There were actual furious actions that went behind that. There was like 16, 17-hour days of action. Henry Ford didn't get there by just sitting there going, oh, I hope I build this assembly line. He had to be at the warehouse bright and early before anybody left after everybody. Same thing with Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. He sleeps in the fucking Tesla factory, bro. He sleeps in there. He works too much, he even says. You know, this person, every one of these people, you can name anybody. Do you think some magical way that Thomas Jefferson did 10,000 fucking experiments to get the light bulb right and did it by thinking about it? No, that took physical experiments, finding the right elements to put in the light bulb to do that 10,000 times, or how many times? Say it was 1,000 times, wherever the number is. It was 1,000 or 10,000, one of the two.
10,000.
Okay, 10,000. Do you think that 10,000 times didn't take a whole shitload of his time? Do you don't think that was any action? Do you think he just said, humana, 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 Jeebus, please bring this to me? No, that was physical action. Do you think Rockefeller sat there and him and Hod just went in the hills with frickin' Carnegie and these guys and hung out and played slap tickle? No. They were actually at the office every day in, day out, hammering down to make these things happen. You know, Rockefeller was going to sell kerosene like lights to every last building to sell to them like a salesperson on Amway or some shit. Every place he's going there, you know. Uh, there's a lot of action behind this stuff. So I'm a firm believer in, like, you got to believe enough to believe you should do the action now. But if you believe too far ahead, you might not believe what next action needs to happen and believe so strongly in that you go do it furiously. Anybody and everybody who has done anything has had shit tons of action in life. If you can't name a person who has got everything you want in life by sitting there and holding their fucking fingers together all weird and crossing their legs and going homina homina homina, and then that's how they got it. There's something to be said about that. You know, it's funny because, like I said when we started this podcast, is Bill Burr was saying that's how he got as big as he is by just pure dumb luck. And you know, Mike Tyson's like, hell no, you didn't. You want to discount the 15, 16-hour days? You were misleading the people behind you that want to be like you, Bill Burr, by telling them that it's pure dumb luck and that's how you get to the top.
He created it.
He created it, but don't discount the 16 to 17-hour days where he was ready and he worked and he wrote at work after work after work of writing jokes and going to clubs and bombing after bombing after bombing after bombing to get great. I mean, to sit there and go pure dumb luck. So if I just sit here and pure dumb luck, it'll happen. No, you're not going to get good at telling jokes by doing that. I didn't get good at making beats without the freaking umpteen bazillion hours and lost vacations of sitting in the studio to do that. Like, that's not how that happened. I didn't get that good on accident. I didn't get good at rapping by sitting there. I was fucking day in, day out writing for 16, 17 hours a day of writing raps that sounded like shit every day nonstop to get good at it. If I hadn't done that, I remember spending 20 hours straight thinking I could rap like Mobb Deep because it's such a simple ass rap pattern. I should be able to knock that shit out, no problem. Man, I couldn't get a word put together sideways and forward. I couldn't do nothing. I probably 20 hours, man. I didn't even sleep. Like, it was just like hardcore writing. Like, I remember a stack of papers trying to practice my craft. You know, I'm 18 at that point in time, and they have the most easy rhyme scheme you could ever imagine on earth. But the point is, all those hours you can't discount that effort. And so when you try to steer the youth, people looking to with you know hopes and dreams, and to say all you got to do is breathe special incense and look to the skies and the sun and sun gaze, and that's how you're going to get to the top. You name me one top level person on earth that you're trying to be like that did that, and I'll shut the hell up. But every one of those people, I'll be able to explain to you at least 16-hour days that they did nonstop, day in, day out, to get and break that barrier. You can't name somebody who sat there and sniffed frickin' glue and just said, "Oh, I hope that it happens to me and I believe strongly enough." You have to have the belief system. I also can say on the flip side of that, I guarantee you can't pick one of those guys that made it that won't say they had a high fucking functioning belief system that was right aligned with what you're talking about. But every one of those guys will tell you, yeah, I spent 20 hours a day. I didn't barely sleep. And you go, oh, okay, okay. Well, that makes sense, you know. But anybody and everybody they talk about in this Think and Grow Rich, everybody looks up to this book, Think and Grow Rich. It's like just think about it and it will happen if you just think and grow rich. Well, the people you're looking up to in that book that is making examples that he studied spent 16 and 17 and 20-hour days to do that. Plus had a great mentality, right? So it was both. It's not one or the other, man. Nobody sits there and just dreams and the shit falls in their lap. How are you going to just magically have a guitar skill if you didn't sit there 30 hours a day freaking hammering down on your fucking scales? That's just, for me, it's just a huge disconnect in people. They read this Think and Grow Rich shit and they literally go, all I got to do is think and grow rich. It's like, no, Dick. They didn't just sit there and think and then grow rich. They thought they could believe, and now that gave them the freaking motivation to hammer down and do the 16, 20-hour days, and who cares if they sleep type of efforts to get there for years and years and on in to where they're 40 and 45. Most of those guys weren't even 45 till they started making their first millions. You know, they didn't have millions at 22. They didn't figure it out till they finally locked in and said, you know what, I'm putting in the effort. You know, so you can sit there and think you can just pray to God and shit will fall on your lap, but I guarantee even your favorite freaking Joel Osteen running around the world, that guy still works 16 hours a day. You know, nonstop flying in his private jet that you paid for. You know, all over to his stadiums he's got that you paid for, that are his personal stadiums. He still works 16 hours a day to make that type of bread. It didn't just magically happen out of the thin sky. So when people utilize this Think and Grow Rich book, which is a lot of the time the foundational thing of this, The Secret and all these other books, mind you, the guys he was studying worked 16 and 17-hour days. So if you want to sit there and put this training balance scale and say like, yeah, none of their time was put into effort and time, like even Kevin Trudeau, that guy, there's no way he did as much material. All the books he wrote, everything he's on, all the marketing, the time he spent, you can't say he wasn't doing 16 and 17-hour days. Unless you see a guy surfing every day of his life and just making millions because he just said he thought about it, then you need to just like rethink your way of communicating to people on how to get there. All you got to do is sit there and believe your next step, and you know where you want to go, and trust your journey. That's part of it. That's the beginning of it. You can't do action first. I failed this way in reverse. I did all action and no belief system. In that, I failed. So you have to believe as strongly as you're putting the action in, and I will agree more than your action. But the harder you believe, the more you're going to want to do the action, the more you're compelled to just believe. And because there's plenty of times you're going to sit there and go, why in the fuck am I putting in 16-hour days and I'm getting zero results? Well, if you don't have a belief system, immediately you'll quit and go back to a regular or whatever it is that you didn't want to do in the first place. Having that belief system is what helps you get past the I'm sitting here going, I'm getting zero results. It's been 10 years. What in the hell am I doing? With no belief system, you go do what regular people do and then wonder why you can't be like the extraordinary people who say this exact shit. They talk the ether. Any famous person will talk the ether. There ain't a person out there that doesn't talk the ether and things coming towards them, or religion, or anything of that nature, right? So without the belief system, you can't keep pulling yourself out the mud. Without my belief system, thanks to Will, uh, and my ability to open my mind up a little bit, which is a act of God. Anyway, so the thing is, I'm able to fail for 4 and 5 months and just see it through to where it finally starts working, knowing I know that this will work. 5 months of failing, and I mean a wife nipping at your heels, going, "Go get a regular job," like you're cutting it hella close, and I'm like, "No, no, this is gonna work," and it's working like a charm right now. But it's like, you have to have a belief system to help pull you forward. It's what pulls you out of the mud. You're freaking in the never ending story and you're Atreyu with the horse going, Atreyu! And you're trying to get out in the mud, sucking you down. You know, a belief system is what helps you get out of that shit. If not, you just suck it down with the rest of the people and you get nowhere. It's madly important to have your belief system correct. However, don't get it twisted. An equal or at least some amount of action is going to be needed to get you going. It's in fact you have to be unrealistically optimistic without being unrealistically optimistic, because realistic will tell you what everybody else did and what they believed. Be unrealistic, because realistic is what everybody else is doing. You have to be unrealistically optimistic, and that is what helps you. You have to understand, like, I've had my wife count me out, anybody around me, saying no, 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 and I'm like, fuck these people. I don't care what they have to say or think. I'm going to keep going with what I know, and I've got kids and their food and medical and all this other shit on the line, lots of bills, lots of stuff. I'm like, no, I know this. And now I'm like, the last few days feeling like a little bit like, that's right, that's right. I believed in me, man. A little patting on the back, you know, I made it past all the bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, and it took so much belief. It took a lot of belief system, a lot of this information to help me pull past just saying, you know what, man, just go get a regular job, dude. What are you doing? Because this shit takes the same amount of time as a regular job. But now it's doing double what I would have got paid at any job I had just got. And I'm just going, no fucking way. Like it's like now what would have been a $200 day is $500. It's like, and that's just starting. That's not including my funnels and all the other things I've built as far as 10 more streams of income that will start doing what they need to do here shortly. And even if they only do 500 a month and there's 10 of them, 500 times 10 is what, 5G? That's 5,000 extra bucks I have a month. Like, it's like, and then when one kicks to whatever, it's like, anyway, and enough. But remember, it's, I think firmly in what Will was saying on, like, trying to figure out something close to what you can achieve. Your belief system goes up, and then you'll raise the bar for yourself naturally. You go, you know what? I did 10 jumping jacks yesterday. Let me try 20 today, And then next thing you knock those out after a week, and then the next week you're like, I'm going to go straight to 40, man. I'm feeling great. And then, man, 40, you're going to go to 80. And next thing your jumps start being crazy. I'm going to go 200. Let me see if I can do that shit. Now I'm in shape. And that's what ends up happening with your actions, but it all starts with a belief system, creating something in front of you that's close enough to believe that you can't screw it up. That's huge. And that was a gem I got from Phenom when he said, like, create something that you can't fail at. And I thought, man, that's massive. Like understanding you can't, creating something you just know. Oh, that's achievable. And if you don't do it, then that's on you. You realize that you have your own issues. It's like me saying, I was in the kitchen this morning. I was like, man, you should just get down to like 4 push-ups. And I said, nah. Well, I could clearly say that's my lack of willingness to have a better physique and have better health, as opposed to, oh, that's just impossible. I have a hard day. It's like you can't do 4 push-ups in between the time that the little corn dogs are heating up in the thing for the kids for 110 seconds. Like you couldn't bang out 4 push-ups real quick just to get the ball rolling for today and kind of start off on a good leg and like make a good day of health. Nah. Well, that's turns out that it made me realize that my choice of not having great health today and wanting to stay out of shape is all on me. You know what I mean? Not because it's unachievable, but because I'm choosing not to. So that's the same thing when you choose a goal that's very close and you know you can achieve it. You'll find out about yourself real quick on the fact that if you don't achieve that thing you know you can't fail at, that you and your lack of ability to do it or want to do it is why it doesn't do it. Then you'll be able to ask yourself, do I really want that? Is that what I really want? So these are all exercises in figuring out what you want. There's a lot to it, and I mean we've gone all over the place, but I feel we did a decent job of kind of staying within some sort of threshold of like the path.
Yeah, this is really good one. Man, let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know. Comment on what you think. I noticed we have a couple more new subscribers. Gina Masters, not to call you out. Obviously, you're probably Will's friend. If you're not, welcome. And if you are, uh, enjoy the information. Please comment. Let us know what you think. In any aspect, from whether you believe in the material, what you would like us to start talking about or hit on, and some of the questions you're like, I can't get with this 100% because of, tell us why, and then we'll be able to kind of hit it. I mean, Will and I believe in the same information, but from like two completely different angles. We're still saying the same shit a lot of the times, but it's two different fields of, or schools rather, of thought, and I think it's a great dynamic. Sometimes I just go, man, Will is so out there. What the hell? And it's like it's such a cool thing that he is, because I'm a different way and he's different. And if we were both the same, like agreeing with each other, you wouldn't get all aspects of that school of thought. Yet we still believe in the same stuff. And so it's madly valuable if you're asking a question for us to both answer with two angles on the same thing, probably telling you the same thing, but one or the other you'll resonate with and be able to get your answer answered correctly, or your question answered correctly. So I think we have a great dynamic in that sense that him and I are, we butt heads. We don't think the same way, not even close. And that is what is so awesome about this show that we were putting on. It's like we don't at all think the same way. We're zero wired the same way. It's absolutely off. We will butt heads till we're bleeding. Um, and that's the best aspect you could, that's the best thing you could ask for in this type of a podcast, is two starkly different schools of thought on the same thing, but ultimately agreeing and finding some sort of common ground between the two, which is how we should be in our country with Republican and Democrat. Should be the same way, two different thoughts, but ultimately, both can come through and run a country well. We're failing at that there. But not to get political, that's about as political as I've ever been. Um, but that's where Will and I are. He thinks uh, the sky is blue. I think it is indigo. And some people could argue that's the same color. So it's the same concept. But we do a pretty good job because we both think a different way, or I don't feel he explained it the way it should be, and he'll color certain areas. So you get a lot from this. So again, comment on like what you would like to hear about, because we'd have a great angle, and we're on journeys of our lives that are really speaking to people. We're not just over here. We don't just do a podcast to do a podcast. We're actually on these journeys for greater things, uh, where questions and obstacles are coming our way, and successes, and all these things, where we're going for things that are not just a podcast. The podcast is merely, we like talking to each other, and we thought we'd document it. We've had since TDS, which is an old crew we had way back, which is based on great mindsets and thought processes. And um, so in that sense, we're on a journey as well, and our journey wasn't to make a podcast. So it just happens to be an offshoot. We're on a journey, and there's so many things, if you're on your journey, that we can kind of parallel with what we're doing, and kind of help you understand, because we're running into plenty of obstacles as we grow and get bigger and do bigger and better things, and grow ourselves. Again, two different people. So if you're a cynical person, there's me. If you're a high energy belief person, that's Will. So there's two different schools, um, and you get your questions answered. So I highly encourage comments in the comment section. I'm starting to get some of those, so it's kind of cool. Um, but once we get one that pertains to this show, then we'll definitely address that. We'll do a whole show based on whatever you're talking about. And Gina Masters, whoever you are, I'd love you to comment. Pretty cool that it doesn't seem like Will knows who that is specifically, or maybe he does, or if he found us on accident. I know Phenom's on there. Maybe you're a Phenom. Let us know. Hey, I'm a friend of Phenom.
Sorry if I should know, but I do not know.
But if you're not, let us know, and tell us you met how you figured this
I
out.
think that's better, actually.
Yeah, I do too. But let us know, you found us through Phenom, or you found us through your best friend. I don't know.
Or you found us. It'd be cool to know how you did stumble across, and then start your little path of. Are you sure you didn't create it?
Right.
You create the opportunity to just magically follow along these podcasts that lines up with exactly what you're going through, what you want. It's just like that.
I think what would be really cool is to understand why you subscribed, um, not just from a market research, because again, we're on $1 billion ideas. We don't care. But we appreciate that you click subscribe, and I'd like to know why. Like, what about this do you love? And then we could kind of like dial in what we're doing based on that, and give you more of that. Because really we're just kind of loosely just talking. Again, today was like, what do you want to talk about? I don't know. The path. No, we always talk about that. I was like, no, let's do it. We're rolling with it.
Pretty much around. We're pretty much talking about the path every week now because we're talking about what's going on, and it's like it's just really exciting. It's really exciting right now. So it's just we're just talking about how the week went, stuff like that.
But the path is the path. I mean, the path is why you have all this information, why you're trying to, the secret, the law of attraction, all of it is for your path in life. And so, realistically, the path is the main thing you're talking about, really. The rest are details around that. So, again, Gina Masters, if you watch this, please comment on this and tell us how you found out about us, why you even cared to subscribe, or maybe you just know of a relative of ours and you just thought, hey, I'm just down to support these people. I'm not even watching this. Comment and tell us that. That'd be cool too. And big ups to
We would
you.
love. We were actually waiting for this opportunity that people watch it and start actually interacting. This is exciting. This is exciting for us also. So 100%.
Yeah.
Just let us know because
If
this
you
is
did,
so exciting. me to hear this. So
Oh yeah. No, I'm pumped too. You're one person, but to us, that's like massive, right? I'm like
right,
hella
that's,
pumped up.
that's
Like,
like
hell yeah.
huge to me. Like what?
Yeah. It's cool.
What?
It's cool. It's like we work at
Somebody
like,
watched physically hit that button, man. Like you
yeah.
must have something.
Like, what about what we're doing do you care about? You know, we do big stuff. Like, we work with Snoop Dogg and bigger artists, and we're doing bigger and bigger things. And it's like, but equally as big as you clicking that subscribe button. As crazy as that is, like, to me, I'm like, man, I feel as pumped as I did finding out last week, or was it last week, when Snoop's going to be on a couple more of my songs, and that could turn into major dough. Uh, if those songs pop off making money. But the bottom line is, I got that same kind of feeling, you know, like, oh man, there's somebody who's like on the podcast thing, because again, I got the podcast, I got the beats, I got the funnels, I got all these different aspects of stuff popping off, and to have the podcast start to take some traction and have somebody actually like it. I mean, like, for me, it's cool. At the end of the day, we don't care, because I mean, we care, and I mean,
Yeah, we care.
I care, and I'm so appreciative. But we're doing this because we love to talk about this, and this is a reason for him and I to have to get on and talk to each other, or we might not talk for 10 years. And so what's cool is we turn this shit on, and it's documented. They're dope conversations, and we get to chop it up, bullshit. It's my one day I started drinking a week, and it's like I've tried to stop the rest of the week, but like the one day I go, all right, I'm gonna kick it with a homie. Like, as crazy as that is, it's a, unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's actually pretty cool.
What we're saying is we don't care if anybody watches or not because we just like this is just our conversations we already have. But we would rather have grow and get more people involved and start helping people more and have it start evolving because we don't know where it's going to go. So this is super exciting for us.
Again, Gina Masters, I'm talking to you. Tell us what's up. Tell us why you even subscribed. Even a little comment. Hey, I know your friend Jim. You know, whatever. Or hey,
I bet to like another video.
or hey,
Whatever it is.
I thought Will was cute. You know, or hey, I'm into this information. You guys have a good way of delivering
Yeah.
it. I felt like you guys were resonated with me on a personal level, as opposed to like trying to talk from like a coaching level. You're just talking. Uh, Whatever that is, you might be our first real subscriber, right? Other than some friend we know who likes the information. So for us, that's madly exciting and success. Small increments, right?
Yes.
Gina, you were on a pedestal today.
Yes, you are.
Our top fan. Yeah. All right. So again, like, comment, subscribe. Like Gina, be like Gina is our new motto. Uh,
Like
yeah, be like Gina.
oh, you're feeling now.
Hey, you're gonna be famous. We're gonna write songs.
You are gonna be famous now.
So no, hopefully you do actually comment. I mean, don't be embarrassed if there's any weird thing about it. Just hit us up. We're excited to hear from you. Like, as crazy as that sounds. Like, for me, I
Yeah.
saw that, I was like, Gina Masters. I was like, I bet you that's Will's homie. Like, well, he's saying no, it's not that he knows of, unless you have an alias. That works too. Whoever you are, you could be Jim Jones. Just put some.
Right.
But all right, guys. So that's gonna end the podcast or show for us. As you'll notice,
Yep.
there's a new layout. We're trying to move to a new YouTube channel, which will be the Frequency Show. Uh, Actually, if I can't figure that out, which is some technical stuff, I'll just clean this whole page out and it'll just be one. So you don't have to skim through my kids like video game stuff, because I found my kid, like, he banged out like a bunch of videos. Like, what are you doing, dude? He's like, oh, I did a bunch of videos, the youngest, um, but you'll notice some new layouts. Let us know about the layouts too. You don't like them? Do you like it? I'm having a struggle trying to stay in the thing because I have to move around in my chair. Will did a good job without even knowing what he's seeing. I get to actually see where I'm at, and I'm having a hard time like trying to like not my head thought getting in the right spot. But let us know. I know with this layout, it's actually a better layout, but it'll evolve. I've been working all day on it. Again, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys showing up. Again, Gina, hit us up.